Welcome to Conversations with K and J. We're your hosts, Kayla and Janae,
In here, we talk about love, life,
and lessons learned. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Daily Doses of Conversations with Kayla
and Janae.
In today's energy, we are looking into Venus and Virgo in the 10th house. So spiritually, the challenge says to cherish the serving of others responsibly. Cherish the servings of others responsibly.
Maybe have some appreciation or gratitude for people who do support you and look out for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it can be taken for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess just to connect it to what I was telling you about Patreon, that's pretty much what the energy was floating around, like being in a place of staying true to who you are and showing up for people and giving, but also making sure that it's being appreciated.
Right.
And so you want to look at both perspectives. You want to make sure that you're being grateful for the things and people that show up for you, and also making sure that other people appreciate and support how you show up for them, because that's really what helps people to feel seen and valuable in a sense.
Right. Not taking that for granted.
Yeah.
Because it's very hard to find genuine people that support you in the way that you support them.
Right. And I think it really will show you how people connect to you and understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the solution says the attraction of methods for the healing power of your destiny.
That's the solution.
Yeah, the attraction of methods for the healing power of your destiny.
So
I think it's more of what you consider valuable in the ways that people show up for you or support you. It's kind of gonna show you the morals that you stand on, the things that you value, and how you can show that throughout what you create or manifest within your life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I care about people listening. And so I feel like that shows up in my destiny because I am a communicator. I try to teach people. And if I want to be heard, I want to make sure that I'm speaking or conveying my messages in a way that can be understood.
But I also think that it's you attract what you put out. So if you want to be heard, you have to be a good listener.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to be supported, you have to be a person that supports others. You can't expect something from somebody else that you don't put out yourself.
Right.
And that's how you practice the law of attraction, right? You practice the law of attraction because you are doing what it is you want to attract. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you want to be heard, you got to be a listener. If you want to, I don't know, speak out, you have to start speaking out. And like you said, you want to be heard, so you speak. You can't expect somebody to listen to you if you ain't saying nothing.
Right. Mentally, the challenge says enjoy the details of success. Enjoy the details of success. The solution says pleasure from the analyzing of where you're going.
mentally enjoy the details of success. So celebrate that you've mentally gotten through things that maybe you didn't believe you could get through. Is it self-explanatory or is it something deeper than that?
No, I think it is. I think it's what you're saying. I just, to put it in the deeper sense, I feel like with the signs present and in the 10th house, for us to look at it for ourselves, this is more so of seeing it, like you said, seeing the process of what you've had to go through in order to get to where you are, but also to what you want to accomplish. So I don't know. I think I'm tied because I'm seeing this in a way where it connects to us. It's a reflection to us, but it's through other people. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. Pleasure from the analyzing of where you're going. I don't know. What's popping up in my head is just how it's easy to look at someone that is successful and think that things are a lot easier than they are. But the more you get closer to that success, you really start to see what it entails. To the point where you're not so caught up in just the ending of it. You're enjoying the process,
Right.
The full way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think it's also saying like not to get, you end up to learn that you're always going to have problems, are always going to come up. You're always going to have an obstacle to get over, but you also know they don't last long, and you stop festering on the negative and start like facing those problems head on. So that, because you know when you get through that problem, it's so much more positive things to come.
Yeah. And also with Virgo in the 10th house, what I was going to say is really like valuing the people and things that play a part into that process. Like even if they are not there at the end of it, like
you know they played a role, and they played a valuable role to you because you learned something from it, or
it just helped you grow to the next cycle.
Right.
And I don't know, like visually, a surface level example is like how you got your first guitar. Right. And that first guitar helped you to learn guitar through and through. But now it's time for you to upgrade to like, I don't know, a bass guitar or electric guitar. And this is not hoarding onto that energy of feeling like I want to bring my first guitar with me for the rest of my life because it meant that much to me. Like it was the first step that brought you to obtaining something bigger and better. And it's not that now it doesn't mean anything. It's just that it has played its part and you are appreciated for that. But now it's about embracing the newness that has come because of that.
Embracing that you've now learned how to play guitar, and you can like upgrade yourself to something better. Yeah.
You know how a few episodes we were saying just start with what you have. It's like that dollar store. It's like that Amazon poll that I had, you know? Like I was grateful for it, but it led me into being able to afford something more of quality, of value, that then changes how I show up and how much more dedication I put into it.
Yeah. It gave you more confidence to upgrade yourself.
Yeah, it opened the door. And so whether it's a poll or a person, this is just being grateful for the things that do come and go, and know that they don't ultimately define the outcome. It's just part of the process, even the people included. And so it's about enjoying every moment of that, because everything serves a purpose. Whether those people or things show up even in a negative way, to challenge you, to get you to stretch your mind and see something in a different way. It's like, it's that.
Yeah.
Because Virgo energy will be placing value on something outside of you in a low vibration, and thinking that that's the make all be all in the 10th house. But really, it's not. It's who you are and how you show up. And again, it's going to be hard to value people showing up for you and supporting you if you're a person who's just rude and hateful and never give people the opportunity to genuinely do that, you know? So, like you said, it's something you still have to apply to yourself. If you want people to appreciate you and you be known for something, at the end of the day, you have to stand for something. You have to be something, and it has to be for you, but also for something more than that as well. Like, my readings are for me, but knowing that within helping myself, I can help other people, it's bigger than me too, which also is my drive for myself to keep going and keep healing. But also, because I have the ability to help others, I'm going to keep that in the front and center. And whether you were listening to me the first day of August in 2016 or you're listening to me today, you still hold a value within my journey. And who I am and how I show up still matters within that too. It doesn't matter what I was on when I first started the channel, you know, like I was in twin flame readings and still caught up in the world in a sense. It played a part into me defining who I am now.
Yeah.
And it's different. And I can look back at the past and be like, dang, I was so dumb and foolish. But no, I was exactly who I needed to be
where you are now.
Where I am now.
Right. Because it gave you a bigger understanding.
Yeah. A very thorough understanding.
Right.
So now I know what that feels like. I know what that surface levelness is and what it like holds. So I don't get caught up in it again unless it's a choice.
Right.
Make sense?
It expanded your mind, right.
Yeah.
You stop thinking small and you start thinking big, bitch. Right. It's that.
Yes, it's that.
Right. But we got to feed off of each other too. That's the whole thing of like attracting each other. And it's got to be a give and take.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one thing that I'm learning even this week is just to remain open to different perspectives, but never to the point where you start to feel like you're losing your sense of self.
Right.
Because I think you've been bringing up a lot of interesting things. And at first I was taking it up as like, oh my God, like I don't know nothing, like I'm losing my shit, like I'm losing my balance.
Right.
But in reality, it's like I'm not losing too much balance because I've obviously known a good bit to get me where I am now. So it's not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Right. It's just appreciating what is helping to expand you and challenge you and push you in a newer, better
It's
direction.
like this podcast. Like, we're not here to convince you to think and be the way that we are. We are here to just expand each other's mind. Like, we just here to raise the questions and think in different ways and perspectives.
Yeah.
We're not here to convince you to...
No, just more of an example to show you that it's possible to have real conversations with real people. And I know it's not interactive like we would want it to be, but I think it also gives people an insight to see that conversations like this do happen. Like, people can talk about this shit and it be a normal conversation without sounding too woo-woo and like just saying things that just go over people's heads. This is a very realistic conversation podcast to me. And I think that that's even with this, that's what I'm saying, this Virgo energy just keeps hitting me in the sense of trying to make something so over the top or feeling like it has to be this or that or like look a certain way when it can really look in the most basic sense and teach you the most from it. Like, It doesn't matter if you have the top line luxury car for your first car or the base model. You still gonna learn the functions of
you still gonna
driving.
learn how to drive. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Everything could be so simple, and it don't matter. You can find a bigger meaning in something so small.
Right.
Because everything, I heard this on TikTok last night, maybe. It was just, he said everything has a purpose. Everything. It exists because it has a purpose. It don't matter what it is. A cup has a purpose. There's something so small and so simple, but it serves a purpose. So there's nothing on this planet that doesn't serve a purpose in some way, somehow. And even you. We exist, so we have a purpose in life. And that no matter how small or big, it still adds to the value of life.
Well, yeah. But don't you have to see, like, what purpose that is bringing?
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm saying. This sriracha sauce, it brings purpose of adding more flavor.
Mm-hmm.
But could it also not be a health hazard?
Yeah, I think everything also is a negative and a positive. So this sriracha sauce, it adds flavor, but that shit add heartburn at the end of the day too.
Right. So you need balance and moderation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that pin bag, what is that?
It's holding your pins. It has a purpose. It's a pin bag. But you also could be like, well, I don't need a pin bag to hold my pins. I can get a freaking plastic bag and it still hold my pins.
Does that work like two ways too? Because I mean, yeah, it's purposeful now because we just said it's holding our pins, right? Mm-hmm. But like if we're not here and we're not around it, then it's pointless.
Right. It is pointless because.
So is that also how temporary things are?
Yeah, it can be pointless, but it can be more than just a pin bag. You can hold other things in that bag. So you don't have to narrow it down to one thing.
One thing.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
It can be a pin bag. It can hold.
Well, that's how I feel about relationships. You know, you gotta get me through like love examples, but like people be thinking breakups is all bad, and like there's a lot of good that can come from breakups, whether the person breaks up with you or you break up with them. Because even if they broke up with you and you don't understand it, they were still doing you a favor. Because
they did you a favor.
That wasn't it.
Yeah, heartbreak sucks, but heartbreak also tells you that you know what it's like to love. It's nothing worse than not knowing what love feels like.
Yeah.
And the lesson or the thing that tells you that you know what love is heartbreak. You know?
Yeah. All right. So physically, the challenge says charm, art, and beauty are the way to do what you must do and become a person of power and status. Well, like I said, I think this still ties into this being a challenge because, again, how people may perceive or expect it to look or be. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like there's no sort of, I don't know the words to say, like there's no true image of what things are supposed to be until you create it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think I'm stuck like in my mind of how I feel like I feel like I don't come off as a loving, warm person. Mm-hmm. Because my words hit very hard, or they're sharp, or they're black and white, right? Mm-hmm. So in my mind, I always feel like I need to come off softer or hold my tongue a bit more or because I want to come off more charming, more,
right.
you know, but that's not true, because it's not me. Like, a person who truly sees me would understand, like, my love is my words or my truth to you, because if I didn't love you or care about you, I wouldn't really care to be opening my mouth towards anything pertaining to you. Does that make sense?
Right. It may not be soft, but at least people know where to go to get it. May be honest.
Yeah, it may just look different. I think it's making me think of TikTok. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but where the girl was getting ready to go off to college, and her mother made a bunch of like kimchi and like she packed her like what
food to last for like 6 months.
6 months,
right?
And she was saying in her voiceover how her mother, like, her parents never said "I love you" growing up. And when she asked her mother about it, her mother was like, well, like, when I cook, when I make you food, and you know, that was her ways of showing it instead of just saying it.
Right.
And that's why I think we both come from dynamics where we were shown it more than maybe we were told.
Yep.
And even people that grew up in the same environment with us could see, because they wasn't told it, or because it didn't look like the way they felt like it should be, then they wasn't given that love, or they felt abandoned or neglected. When you didn't realize, like, your mother working all day long and then still coming to pick you up after school when she barely got it was love, you know? But you just taking that as like, that's my mother, that's what she's supposed to do. But like, no,
she could have came.
She
could have got somebody else to pick
bus,
you up, right?
You know,
right.
you know. So it's like what you deem valuable. And I think that's ultimately, again, what you reflect. So yeah, if you're a person who values somebody like buying you a gift every time they want to express their love to you, I'm not your person. You're not going to find much value in me, you know? And again, I wouldn't find much value in a person that wants to buy me gifts over spending time with me. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, that makes total sense.
So it's not the shame of like, well, I'm not going to put myself out there or create this because it's not over the top, or it doesn't look like money, or it doesn't look like this. Like, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't have to be. Right.
It just has to be something that you're proud of, that really represents you, because that's how you keep it going. Am I getting off track?
No. No.
Yeah. I used to hate dancing in the garage at my parents' house because I felt like it didn't look up to par. But it also showed me that people didn't care about me dancing in the garage. They cared about me dancing.
They cared about
they
the
were
dancing.
watching me dance. They weren't watching the broom hanging up on the side of the garage door, you know? And so that just, it is you doing what you must do to become a person of power and status. Like, it starts from somewhere.
Yeah.
And also, like, I guess your definition of love, of power, of success, it's stemmed from somewhere, even if you don't believe in it in the same way anymore, right? Like, my hero was my mother at some point, and that's obviously, I'm my own hero at this point. But it still stood true for me to aspire to be a better person.
Well, now you know that if you felt like your mother showed up as your hero, now that you have a child of your own, you want to show up as a hero to her. Like,
right. Yeah.
So.
Good way to say that. So, the solution says good times resulting from the perfectionism of your career.
So enjoy what you're doing, right?
Right.
Enjoy creating.
The letting go of the perfectionism to
Yeah.
realize that you are perfection.
Right. Enjoy doing it. It doesn't have to be perfect.
No.
You just have to have fun.
Yeah. You just got to really feel the value in what it is that you're creating. I think it's like when we talk about how we want to create our shots and our content.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, but back in the day, I would just get up against a blank wall and do a yoga move and thought it was amazing.
Right.
You know, but now I'm like, oh, I need a setting and the aesthetic and the, you know, that's just the way the world has reflected that things should be. But at the end of the day, everything really goes back to the basics. And there was perfection in just the simple things. It makes me just think about my hair.
About your hair.
About my hair, because I watched this TikTok and this guy was saying, like, y'all just need to go back to the stuff we was using with our parents, like Live and Blue Magic and things like that. He was like, society, capitalism has basically made people believe that they need all these extra products and glosses and
it's got to be in a fancier bottle, and it's just like, girl,
and
back in the day, like, you was getting that big jug of black gel and slapping it on them edges, and now we act like it's got to have some, you know,
gotta have A through Z to make it come out perfect, and it doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't.
No.
So I really feel like that's just a bigger example of a smaller example of life. If you look at life in that way, we've been presented with a lot of different things in life to make it seem like there's more to it than it is. But life is really simple. Because even if you, again, like I said, idolizing things, see people with the house, the cars, the clothes, the hoes.
You see people
it's
with
like
the
J. Cole song, like Love Yours, because just because they got it all don't mean that, like, shit is really what you think that it is.
Right. Well, I think, like, social media upgrading itself to, you know, numbers of how many likes you got or how many followers you have puts value on what people see as more valuable. Like, oh, this person got a lot of followers. They must be about something. They must be doing something right compared to the person that has, you know, 600 followers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah, and it's really, you know, the underdogs really may give you something more valuable.
Yeah, the underdogs is always where it's at. Always. Even music. When you think about music, it's always the people that just ain't, you know them, but they ain't quite, like, known.
Right. They not bumping them on the radio, but, like,
that's where all the gems are. Yeah, so
I listen to more people sing on TikTok than I do searching music on iTunes or something. Like,
yeah. So, point of the story is there's purpose and there's value, even if it doesn't appear to be what the world says that it should be or look like, or no. You will always have more than enough by staying true to you. You're going to get more in the long run, to be honest, because people who are not staying true to them only win temporarily before it's taken from them, because times change. And the only thing that is constant is change, but staying true to you will only change you into more of you.
Right.
You know?
And it gives you quality over quantity.
Yeah.
I want quality than just numbers.
Yeah. It's a bunch of people in this world, but there's only one me. Only one you. I love you.
And our followers here that's listening to us, like, we know they get it. We can be all choppy in this podcast and sit here, it may sound woo-woo, but those who get it, get it.
Right.
And that's all that we're here for. It's not meant for the masses. It's meant for the people who's on that same vibration.
Yeah, on the journey.
Right.
You may not get it now, but you can get it later.
Yeah, you can get it later. When you get there. Right.
Yeah.
And, hey, those videos will be there.
Right. So, yeah. I would say, like, this is good energy. You have something ending because we're in the 10th house. But whatever's ending is going to bring you to a more realistic truth about like how you can connect to things or people. And that's what I'm saying. So it's pretty much giving, like, growing up thinking that love is a fairy tale like the movies, and realizing that love is a real thing. It just looks way different than what people dress it up to be in a movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that could be, like, positive or negative, you know?
Yeah.
Some people think marriage is, like, draining and a lot of work and it's hard. And that is with the wrong person. But with the right person, it's
easy.
Yeah.
It's having somebody that
it's a lot
relieves your stress.
This life.
Right. It's not stressful. It's having somebody that relieves your stress, and you relieve each other in different ways.
It's a balance.
Mm-hmm.
But it is real, you know? It's not just like, oh my God, we're just so in love and we don't think about anything serious or deep, or like some people only get surface level with things. And that's what I'm saying. It's beyond that. You can have wealth and riches and money, but it doesn't stand for the same thing if you're over here using it to scam people and cheat people and betray people, versus a wealthy, rich person that's actually helping, you know, giving back, supporting their community, or building up things to help other people. Like, that's what I'm saying. There's two sides to everything.
Right.
So we're not saying that the real people and authentic people will always be the underdogs or the less known. Mm-hmm. It's just saying to not devalue yourself because, again, you're not hitting high numbers. At this point, we are realizing that that's not really where you want it to be in the recent past anyways, because that's getting all timed out, you know? And that's what I was saying. Like, you can have great grand times off of
unauthentic.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
For so long. Inauthentic. Yeah, fuck it.
You get it.
God damn it. That can only last for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Because then, you know, times change and you still have to show up authentically through that. I showed up authentically through the twin flame journey, and I'm showing up authentically after it. I don't do it. I don't believe in it. I don't think that it is the healthiest path to be following, versus you bettering yourself to better attract better things and people in your life. I wouldn't say go chasing behind people and things that are not adding value to you. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just rambling at this point.
No, you're not. You're right.
That's it. You're beautiful.
You're beautiful.
You're perfection.
Yeah.
Purposefully, without even trying. So we just gotta be us.
Yep.
Give ourselves permission to be us.
Right.
On purpose.
And be what you want in return.
Let's not forget that part.
Don't forget that part.
Don't forget that part.
Don't forget that part.
That's the balance.
Yeah, because that pisses me off.
Okay.
When people want you to be something that they're not. I don't know why that just made me angry.
Yeah, you got really serious. I'm trying to.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Trying to see if that was directed to me.
That's big. No.
Oh.
No, it wasn't directed to you.
You got really, really serious in that moment. Like, whoa.
No. I just think it's a real big thing that people do. Like, they want somebody to show up for them
in ways that they don't.
that they don't show up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what got me on this path that I'm on now. People was asking me who was I? What did I bring to the table?
Right.
And I was like, oh, a child by someone else. That was it. I didn't have a job. I didn't have nothing.
Right. So you knew to upgrade yourself in that.
Yeah.
You knew to change yourself within that.
Yeah. If I wanted something of quality, I had to be quality. Like, I couldn't be broken down and nothing and asking for everything.
Right.
Because I wouldn't want to take care of somebody that ain't doing nothing for themselves. Like, that's what I meant. Like, yeah, it's a sad story. Ooh. But you got to do something about it.
Right. I want somebody
to have something real. I probably could have found somebody that just would have took care of me for life, but I wanted somebody to do life with. I didn't want to just like...
Right, but you knew that wouldn't make you happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could just found a sugar daddy and, they could have provided for you and you just... But...
It's
what fun
entertaining to, like... It's fun to entertain mentally, but I still don't think I could even, like, did that.
No. I don't think I could, like, be in love with somebody's money and not be in love with them. Yeah. It's that example, right?
Like, why?
Because some people love money more than they love people, so I get it.
If you, right, but you know yourself, then you're going to end up on a timeline that works for you.
Right. If you like, I don't care about loving on anybody. I just love the money. Then go for it, boo-boo. Ain't no judgment.
Then in your life and your reality, that can be real. Mm-hmm. But just don't come fucking and hurting over people that value love.
Right. Because those will be the same people who are dealing with people who all about love. Yes. And they will tell you like, I'm a lover and, I don't care. I can live in a box. And then you have that person that's like, oh, well, hell no, I'm not living in no box. I don't care about love enough to live in a box,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. They like, oh, well, best believe when the money gets tough.
I was going to take was a luxury 2-bedroom apartment. Right. Right. You done took me out the penthouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no. Yeah, it is about knowing what you value.
Mm-hmm. And people, like you said, you can only be unauthentic for so long. So people can sit there and act like they will love you through thick and thin and love you through the ups and the downs. But if they truly value money more than they value love, the moment y'all get a little struggle and that money get a little funny, that person can't be unauthentic anymore. They gonna be real quick. They gonna drop your ass like a bad habit for that money. You get what I'm saying? So it only lasts for so long.
Yeah, but I mean, would it not, like, hypothetically speaking, would it not last for so long? That's what I'm saying. How many cycles of broke do you want to go through with a person before you realize something needs to change?
That's true too. So maybe that person ain't being real with themselves either. Of being like, nobody want to love you through broke.
That's what I'm saying.
Your whole life,
I'm down for the box and under the bridge, like that one time, if times really get that hard, but ended up there 3 and 4 times, and then saying that I'm not.
Right. That's just being with that man or woman that ain't never
effort. Right.
Never put any effort.
See the value within themselves to want to do better.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I just like to cover all bases because I feel like sometimes people take things like to the exact T.
In what way? What you mean?
Like, we wasn't just encouraging somebody to stay with somebody no matter what.
Oh, yeah, no.
We was just saying, like, you got to be realistic that you're going to hit hard times. Mm-hmm. And it is going to be a test to see what you value most.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Somebody that you see is hustling, bustling, trying to get that business going. They passionate about it. They like, it's going to work. It's going to hit. I'm going to put in all the energy and effort I can to do this. But, stick with me. And the person like, yeah, I'm going to stick with you. Mm-hmm. Until to them it's not working or it's not working fast enough for them. Right.
Well, yeah. I think the line is just when you see nobody putting no effort in for me. Like,
right.
Once I see you give up on yourself, it's
you
definitely going to try for me.
Right, just love ain't strong enough.
You're not going to try for me if you're not trying for yourself, buddy.
Right.
So.
Right.
But, yeah, I don't know. I still wouldn't give up on love then because sometimes it takes having that wake-up call.
Right. Well, sometimes it takes two. Like, it take us being together and helping each other out and continuing to, like, push each other because you love that person enough that you know that they're great, that you're not going to give up them because you know, like, if we do this together, it's undeniable that we going to win.
Yeah. Well, that's why you gotta be with a person that balances you out.
Mm-hmm.
Because if not, you'd be talking to a brick wall.
Right.
And I've been in that before.
Yeah, I think you
encouraging people that don't see themselves.
Yeah, you can kind of see what it's about. Somebody that likes nice things and like to spend, and you know, if you can probably tell that, if I ever fall on hard times, that person probably ain't gonna stick around for too long. And then that's what people fall into, trying to, like, you working for them instead of working for yourself. You know, you working to please them and give them what, but sometimes, you know, you gotta work for yourself, and if they go, they go.
Well, I also think that goes into, like, the beginning message too, where spiritually or energetically you have to look to cherish the servings of how people show up for you, because that could also be how you see people, could also be based off of what you've experienced and the traumas you went through before. Because that's, like, if I like to spend money and invest on nice things, doesn't mean that when times get hard that, like, I'm not going to settle for less than that.
Right.
Because, you know, you've experienced a person who wanted it to look a certain way at all times. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I've been with people that, like, they had it while they was doing it, but the moment they stopped, like, they stopped. Right? And that's what I'm saying. I think we both have had reflections of past traumas in each other, but it has also proven that it can be another way. So I'm saying, I like nice shit for sure, but I'm not going to leave you for a nice shit.
Right.
Because I know your value is way more than that. Like, what we have is not just a material thing and what it looks like. It's like the feeling, the experience behind it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, end it there.
Yep. I think it covered it.
All right. Thanks for vibing out with us, guys. We love you, and we will talk to you guys next week. Bye.